over that. Yeah. Okay, so this is a time open for questions or answers or your own reflection about the
Yeah.
movie. Please go ahead and share. Anyone? Yeah. Yeah, please go ahead, unmute and speak freely. We are a small group, so we should be able to interact. Yeah, this is an unlisted mode, the Q&A, so don't worry. If it's nothing too personal, we can bring it out later for others too. Yeah. So one of the scenes in the movie, I've often used it in my sermon, is when Red comes out of the jail and I think he's working somewhere. And every time he has to go to the bathroom, he's asking for permission from the store owner. So can I go? And he says, you don't have to ask for my permission. Then he's reminded, like he tells him that because I was in the jail, I always had to ask for permission. So I always would draw a connection with that. You're out of the prison of sin now. You're free. So live confidently, like free men and women. We are not enslaved to sin anymore. We don't have to fear it. So I would use that very often in my sermons. That particular illustration. Yeah, but please go ahead. Anyone, your own personal connect with the movie. Dr. Emmys, Moses. Yes, please, Brother Moses, go ahead.
Hey, sorry, just wanted a couple of observations. One is when I watch a movie, I try to watch it for the entertainment value rather than trying to say, hey, what is this biblical message that is kind coming through this movie, right? I mean, if I want to go watch let's say, a James Bond flick or a Mission Impossible or anything, or maybe a Barbie movie as well, right? We don't try to figure out what it is. I think it's more in hindsight that we try to analyze and then we try. Isn't it like trying to force fit the gospel into into a entertainment medium? That is one. That's just one the observation. It doesn't have to be an answer as well. Second thing, I think you mentioned that movies are the sermons of the future, right? Honestly speaking, today I think it's all reels and that are the sermons of the future. Nobody's looking at movies and it's all these 30-second, 10-second, 20-second, and it's very interesting to see if the gospel. And I subscribe to a lot of those minute ones, which really helps me a lot as well. And of course, there are tons of those which are not helpful at all. The last question I have is, and this is a question, not an observation. You talked a lot about what we can learn from the movie, and which is good. What are the things that we should not learn from this movie? That's it from my side.
Yeah. From this movie, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Uh, Seva, you want to respond? You're on mute. Yeah. Respond to that. You're on mute. I think. Yeah. You need to unmute. I think this connection was much better from iPhone. We could hear you much better than earlier. Next time, we'd like you to connect from this directly than your laptop. But I think now you're on. Can I ask you to unmute, please?
Yeah, you still.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I mentioned this already, right? Movies are very subjective. Okay. So, and I do not want to present this movie as a Christian movie. So I use the words resonate. I use the words echo. I use the words vibe, right? Intentionally, because I know that not all of us will agree that movies, this movie is a Christian movie or whatever. The things of not to learn from this movie, I don't know. I haven't thought about it that way. Basically, don't be like the Christian man in the movie. Don't be like him would be excellent place to start from, right?
Yes.
So if we are, because that is a bad representation. And I know some of us will say, oh, that's Hollywood, and Hollywood always presents Christians in a bad way or whatever. But no, even I've suffered personally from those kind of Christians, right? The wolf, the sheep in wolf's clothing, or wolf in sheep's clothing, or whatever you want to call it, they are there, right? So that would be my number one thing. Just do not be like that warden, right? Just if you want to be a Christian, be a sincere, true Christian, and be cool, So that's pretty much it. This thing about sermon, right? The thing about movies being sermons, what we are saying is movies are stories, right? Movies at their essence are stories, just as reels, just as shorts, just as books, just as novels. They are stories. And stories are inherently designed to carry messages,
Yeah.
right? And to carry themes.
Yeah, like parables. You could say
Yes, they're
Jesus
like parables. They're
communicated.
like parables.
Yeah.
And they don't have to be Christian, right? They can be for anything. My thing is,
Right.
there are many, many Christians who are coming up and using this form. Uh,
Yes.
Chosen, House of David, there's Angel Studios. There are a lot of people who are taking this up very seriously and they are having an impact, right? They are having an impact, right? So I pray for that. And I want to join them. I really want to be their ilk, I want to be part of that. So to your observation, I agree that it might be mainly, reels and shorts or whatever, but because movies are stories, they'll never die off. They'll never die off.
Correct.
They'll always be around. They might change, they might evolve, they may transform, but they'll always be around because they're stories.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Any other question? Anyone? Any reflection from the movie? Yeah.
There's a question
Okay,
that
Brother Moses.
no, there's a
Yeah.
question that Amy has asked in the chat. So
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, Emmy has asked a question. I think, was it about the poster you were saying? Women's,
yeah,
or
yeah,
I can't see.
yeah. It says, "What
Oh,
about the posters in Andy's room? The Hollywood
Yes.
female,
oh,
basically Raquel Welch and
Yeah. So um, uh, those posters that Andy is using is to fool the people, right? That's one of the few times that he is behaving like other prisoners, so that they will not look closer, they will not look deeper, and they will not find out that he's actually digging a hole or whatever, right? There is no other indication that he likes that. There's no other indication that he prefers that or that he's fond of those kind of things. But it's very clear because if you look at the other posters on the wall, they are mainly paintings, they're drawings, they're a little bit esoteric, they're a little bit hi-fi,
yeah.
a little bit.
no, no. The reason, Seva,
Those
the
are the
reason I
only
was
ones that are
laughing,
so base.
the reason I
Yeah.
was laughing is because you, at one point, you mentioned that Andy is like the representation of Christ in the movie, and then Christ using a, a poster of
Yeah,
Raquel
I understand that.
in
It's just
1 million years
Yeah.
movie.
I'll give a disclaimer saying that he's a Christ-like
Yeah.
figure, right? But he's not Christ-like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, any other question, reflection, please go ahead. This is the time for us to interact quickly, spontaneously as friends. So go ahead, unmute and speak. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Seva said that there weren't any women characters.
Yeah.
I think there's a line in the movie where he talks about those posters that he puts up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's the main camouflage to what he's actually doing.
Yeah.
And the other thing was that uh, everyone's storyline in the movie is interesting, like
Yes.
Red's transformation from someone who doesn't want to try to get parole. He's like, every time they call him to the parole
Hearing.
board,
Yeah.
the hearing, yeah, he just says, yeah, I'm innocent and I deserve to be out. Or so he doesn't really make a case for himself. I'm a new man. I'm rehabilitated and things like that. And then finally, when I think when his friend escapes, then he says that there's meaningless. I mean, rehabilitation is a made up word or something like that. I don't remember the dialogue, but
Yes.
even Red's transformation from cynic and skeptic to someone
Yes.
who hopes
Hope.
and
Yeah.
someone who dreams and then gets parole is interesting.
Yes.
And then also the arc of there was a character, the old man. I think his
Yes,
name
Brooks.
is
Brooks. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Brooks. Even Brooks' character is really sad, and it
Yeah.
talks about how Brooks has been become part of the system, like
Institutionalized. Yeah.
institutionalized exactly. And then finally he the only place that he can I think he has a pet bird or something. I can't
Jake. Yeah.
remember. Yeah, he has a pet bird, and then he finally of course sadly takes his own life. And
Yeah.
so I think every character has an interesting arc, and It's a beautiful movie about friendship and about
Yeah,
hope and about the triumph of the human spirit that
yeah,
can survive even the worst of circumstances. Like
yes,
um,
Right.
persevere in spite of the worst of circumstances. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that there's another movie in which they play music. The same kind of thing happens. I don't know if you've seen Life is Beautiful,
yes, I have. Yeah, yeah,
the
Yeah. Yeah.
Italian movie,
yeah.
and
The
in
Holocaust
that,
Yes.
movie.
the Holocaust movie, yeah, even in
Yes,
that, he kind of plays a piece of opera for the whole concentration camp to hear,
yes, yes,
and that's an
Mm.
interesting. I think
Yeah.
that that's a very powerful scene in both the movies. Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you for this interesting observations here. Anybody else? Anyone else wants to contribute your thoughts, your reflections? Yeah. I think what you said about the jailer, I mean, the type of avoiding being that type of Christian is very true because I think
Yeah,
in America, being largely a Christian state, that
yes,
has been their experience of Christians, and that's how
yes,
they have hated now. They are, I mean, there's a whole generation hating Christians,
yeah,
because of the way they have been overpowering people and then trying to impose their religion and their morals on other people, shutting them up. And I think there's a huge reaction. I think, and that's what we see in these movies. And I think that was very honestly done because that's how quite a few
yeah,
of these fanatic Christians are.
yeah,
So I appreciate that really because we have to avoid being those kind of people when
yeah,
we have this, because we can also be like a warden, even without a prison.
yeah,
Uh, if absolute rules, everybody's condemned. Everybody's put in jail in our minds.
yeah,
If they've broken this rule, yeah, because we don't understand their context, their situation, where they come from,
yeah,
and we can very likely behave like that. What yeah. And yeah, and the other thing I think it really touched my heart. What you said was about redeeming those places where God has placed us.
yeah,
That was very beautiful because I think for Andy, it was before he drowned in the cesspool of that
yeah,
pipe. He refused to drown into the pessimism that Red had or the other prisons had.
yes,
He always kept his head up. So I think in this world, if we have to be the salt and light, we can't think like other people. We should
yes,
not conform to the thinking of other people, how they behave. Everybody's because so many Christians are always thinking about their relatives, their neighbors, what society will think, and they want to fit in and all that. But we are meant to be like Andy.
yes,
We are the counterculture. Yeah, we should
exactly.
raise the head high, and we should think differently, and we should slowly but surely we will win in the end. Even though we
Yes,
go unnoticed for most part, but we will win in the end. So
yes,
I thought that was very powerful what you said. So thank you
yeah,
so much.
sure.
Great, great. Yeah, yeah. Anybody else? Any thought? Any reflection? Sunil, Atul, Grace. Yeah, go ahead, Sunil.
So for me, I take on a different way. I think Moses was saying if we go to watch a movie for entertainment, for me it's like I always try to relate or observe the things that are biblical or anything that relates with Christianity, especially the Hollywood movies and uh, yeah, even in this movie. So what I try to do is like try to relate and find something meaningful, and because every movie will have a theme or a purpose, and uh, it's not just entertainment, but there is also definitely a spiritual aspect to it. So knowing that the truth, knowing the truth behind the purpose behind that movie, it in itself, like when the truth is revealed or when we understand the truth, that itself is will be more than an entertainment, right?
Yes,
That truth. So yeah, So some of the observations I actually looked at some of the uh, videos in YouTube. One of the video they actually compares when the prisoners enter in, they enter in naked. So
Yes.
they compare it with
New
like human coming out of men's
newborn.
womb.
Yes.
Yeah,
Newborn.
and then also when Andy was released, and when he comes out, it's compared to the empty cell, to the empty tomb of
Yeah.
Christ.
Yes.
And also Red's parole, he actually gives three times in the beginning of the movie and middle and at the end, which we can compare with like the life of Red, how he transformed from the beginning of the movie. Um, and then a few observations like how Red was also redeemed when we compare with Brooke, who had no friends, but Red had Andy as hope. uh, the camera movements, as you were saying, like when Red was released, the camera is taken from behind, showing the world outside that he has hope. So yeah, lot of symbolisms, lot of things to learn from. I think it is with most of the movies, right? Like the recent Superman movie also, he was made to bleed more, so that he can relate more with humanity. Just like they all take it from the Bible, but they deny Christ. Either Hollywood or any of those Indian Bollywood and other things also. So yeah, I think one more thing I want to say is C.S. Lewis and Tolkien. All those came up with this wonderful Narnia and the Pilgrim Progress of John Bunyan. All those allegorical theme books or movies. If at all we Christians impact this one of the seven mountains, that is media and movies, the world out there definitely is going to capture, and we see that the impact of movies and a recent stampede in Tamil Nadu,
Mm.
because they just want to see that person Vijay. They was it has lot of impact. So I think we should pray and get involved in this area also.
Yeah. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for that response. Yeah. Anybody else wants to share anything, any thought coming from the movie? Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I think, yes. Yeah. Go ahead, Dr. Amy.
I also think that, see, I do agree that the jailer is the perfect example of like horrible evil. But I think also if you look at many of the movies in Hollywood, they tend to portray all Christian characters this way. I mean, very rarely you'll find a very positive depiction of Christians in Hollywood, because
Yeah.
they believe that trope, like, it's the Hollywood trope is typical. They want to
Mm.
show that Christianity is hypocritical and corrupted,
Mm.
and, you know, yeah. So I think
That,
that's one point, I think, yeah.
mm. That has
Yeah.
been
So
their experience as a generation, no? Yeah. Yeah. Go
yes,
ahead,
yes.
Seva.
And I think that is one of the main reasons why we are seeing so many Christian people coming out. Right? They've seen
Right,
this whole lives, and I encourage that.
Mm.
Right? We Christians
right,
should tell our own stories. There have been many times where
right.
Hollywood has told Christian stories, but they messed up. I mean, we know of
Mm.
this movie about Moses recently with Ridley Scott, Christian Bale, I think Kings and Generals or something like that. That bombed Noah, you know. So
Yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Blind Side was a very good movie. The Blind Side, if
Yes,
you
yeah.
remember.
So that is a
Yes,
Christian
that is a
character.
Christian.
It's a Christian
Yeah.
character, right? So I think it's best if we Christians tell our own stories, right?
Right.
So I encourage that. So I'm more focused on that right now, and I'm very happy that actually it could be a whole session. Actually, it should be a whole talk about how there is an emerging crop of Christian filmmakers in the States, who are making TV shows and who are making movies. So there's people who made The Chosen. They're going to make a series about Joseph, about Moses, about the apostles, So yeah, let's do that, So I think it's time we move on from that because we can't always expect everybody to be positive about us. And I think even though I love movies, even though I have many directors I like study and all that, I have no hope from them, and I don't mind it. I'm like, you do your thing, that's their thing, do it. I want to focus on us telling our own stories, like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it will happen, and it is happening. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Bible itself, does not
Yes.
stop on David's sin or any of those
Yeah.
faults. So I
Mm.
think the media should also come up with. We are just trying to say that is the ultimate thing, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, I think some of the movies they depict true to life stories,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
happened. It's not exaggerated. So there is little bit of good and little bit of evil. So
Yeah.
we don't need to uh, come here thinking the whole thing should be Christian. Otherwise, what is the
Yes.
point of it? That's
Yeah.
that's not that's not how life is.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think even Jesus spoke about parables that just happened the way they were. That is,
Yes.
I mean, somebody is going and gets robbed and beaten up. I mean, that's quite true to life, right? I mean, people would get robbed. That's a good Samaritan
Yeah.
story,
Yeah.
and people ignore. So that's, I mean, Jesus also presented the ugliness and the goodness that existed in the society.
Yes.
So I
And
think we have, yeah, therefore we have
yeah.
to look at movies also that way and draw the good out of it instead of just saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is not a Christian movie, so how can we do a Christian movie?" I would say,
Yeah, yeah. And I also want
yeah.
to add that the Bible itself is different from
Mm.
other books, other
Correct.
holy books, because the Bible is extremely honest in depicting those people's lives. I mean, David did some really bad things. I mean,
Right.
Moses, Sarah, I mean, it's horrible. And right, because people, when they read these people, these holy people, these great men of God failing, and again coming back, we have hope. Well, hey, they're like me, right? The best stories are the ones where I can relate to the person, and not just the good things but the bad things. So the Bible is very unflinching and very unvarnished in its depiction of God's people doing some really bad things and falling down and failing. So most of these movies, yeah, I understand that the
Mm.
Hollywood has wrong intention, but at the same time they're not being untruthful, right? Their focus may be wrong, but the actual thing is true. There's some truth to
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's my argument.
Yes. Yes. Correct. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Atul, Grace, you want to say something? Share your thoughts. Yeah. Mrs. Jacob and Sano also, if you want. Go ahead. Yeah. Before we close in few minutes. Yeah. Yeah. So I think there was this Ridge, some movie, The Ridge, World War
Hacksaw
Two,
Ridge.
Extra Ridge. Yeah. So that was also a mainstream movie. I mean, it was a Christian character, the Seventh Day Adventist, but they made it so mainstream and it was good. So I would, yeah, I think I would, I would enjoy watching movies that are true to life
Yes.
than where they try to make it extremely
Yes.
Christian.
Yes.
I would prefer that because
Yeah.
that's more honest and it
Yes.
appeals to you.
And
So
that's real
that's
art.
that's
Yeah.
real art,
And
right?
true
That's
art
real
is
art.
honest. Even the bad things, they be honest about even the bad things. That is a real art.
Correct, correct. Yeah. So I think any thoughts, any more reflection before we close? Yeah. So